is Quốc Long from Genome University, and today I want to, on behalf of my team member, you see a lot of team members, and as a presenter, I have a privilege. You see the name is alphabetically in the last name, but with my last name is W, should be last one, but I have a privilege to put my name in the first one. So today my talk it will be scientific research, investigation, and the monitoring result of land-type potential landslide. And the vision of the study, we like to pose a method to see the potential or risk of a potential large-scale landslide. And present, we are now integrate analysis of a couple or a lot of techniques to landslide monitoring as a demonstration slide to other large-scale landslide. In the future, we like to detect the landslide precursors with apex technologies. So if you see this theme, we use this in this slide. We use the very high in INSAR and also to historic images and also the US, and we have a US LiDAR in this slide, very good performance. And with the GPS labeling and the ground surface detection, earthquake stations, and underground deformation detection. And for the historic images, we can see that in 1960, corona is just declassified from the United States. So you see very clear images of this site, but not so tremendous landslide we are seeing in this area. And then we go to, let's say, in 1970s, it's the poor image quality with 90 meter resolution. And go to the 1980s, the aerial photo by Taiwan, you can see that the landslide is already here. We can see this one. And also go to 1984, the poor satellite images. If we go back to see the Lantai area is located in northeastern Taiwan, it was a forest. It was designed for forest industry. So there's a lot of forest trees. They need to move down to the down slope. So we can see there's an old road here, and this one is taken by drones. You can see there's old road, but this road is already abandoned. We cannot use the road again anymore. So when they transfer to forestry to recreation, a lot of tourists will pass this very heavy traffic road. So it's kind of important, but because the tourists will go there. But there's another way. If the typhoon alarm is announced, the tourist park will be closed, so no one can go there. So there's a kind of benefit, because if it's totally failure, there won't have any tourists. If we can use this site to do scientific research, we can have a lot of good data. So from this one is 1957, it's the United States Air Force taking these pictures. After World War II, the United States Air Force take a lot of pictures of Taiwan. This is one of them. So you can see this one here. The blue line is the existing landslide currently. And the other two is, we suppose, is the large-scale landslide of this area. So we have a bigger landslide seen from 1957 images. So if we put that one here, where should we put the sensor? We don't know. If we put a lot of sensors, randomly will cost a lot of money. So we use the TCP INSAR in this area. It's our true image, and we can detect area where landslide is sliding down. So we can put GPS, we can put sensors at this area. So we put a lot of GPS. We have 10 more single frequency GPS. So we select this area, we put GPS, and also a reference GPS, assuming not moving. So also we have drones for this site. We have a lot of optical images, also US LiDAR images. For the US LiDAR image, we have a nice quality. It's about 300 points per square meter. So with the vegetation removed, we can get a very nice quality data. So from the nice quality data, we can see the features, geologic formations. We can have a very nice scale, very high resolution geological map of this area. So also we can see this one is the US LiDAR. And after remove the vegetation, good quality. And also this is an airborne LiDAR. Airborne LiDAR should be enough, but compared with the US LiDAR, it's better. So we can see this one with airborne LiDAR. We can find out the landslide scar, but the landslide scar seems enough. We compare with the US LiDAR, we can see more details. It's the landslide. It's not only this one here. It's only 10 hectares, but in our current study, the landslide area is more than this one. It's more than 30 hectares. So with the US LiDAR and airborne LiDAR data, we can declassify more details about the geological map. The left-hand side is the currently geological map. So with the airborne LiDAR and the US LiDAR, we can see the geological formation and the fissure, crest, and even faults of this area. But we can do this one, but also we cannot just trust US LiDAR data. We need to go to the field to verify where is the fault or shear rock. So we can go to the field, we can see that fault outcrop here, and also fault plan in this area. So with that geological formation, with the US LiDAR and the field verification, we can 2D the geological profile. With the 2D geological profile, we can see that there is shear rock in this area. So the shear rock complete from 40 meters to 80 meters. So this is the signal where the shear rock happened from geological investigation. So we need to focus on here or other places. So with the US LiDAR, we also have a very nice regional quality geological map. So we can have a very good quality and see there's a fault across this area. So also we have a core identification. So with the 4 cores, you can see that core 4. Core number 4 is very extreme fracture. So it's an extreme fracture, so we can assume that water will pass through core 4. And the others also very fracture, but core 4 is more fracture in this road. And also because this is the only road pass through the Taiping Recreation Park, so the Forest Bureau, they do retaining pile engineering works at along this road. The pile length is about 40 meters, so it's protecting the slope, but the 40 meters is enough or not for this large-scale landslide we'll see. So with the borehole imaging, we can see that all the fissure cracks, because when we do the borehole identify, we cannot know where is the direction of fracture or fissures. So with the borehole image, we can conclude that all the fissures toward the downslope. So the fissure and the geological formation is toward to the same direction of slope. So we established a monitoring system set up based on the funding from Soil and Water Conservation Bureau. So we can have this one, and we have a monitoring system like this one. Also, we can pick up any point of the monitoring instrument and compare to ground extensometer and the water level. So we can immediately know the difference between each system. So the first one, as we mentioned with the ground monitoring, we put the GPS. This is a single frequency GPS data. So we can see that the GPS data is referenced to number 10 station. So we can see the east and north and the vertically displacement. And the yellow line is representing the precipitation data, is mean rainfall. And the purple line is earthquake. So not only rainfall data or earthquake event, the monitoring side will move. So we need to calibrate, or we need to know which one is controlling the large-scale landslide. So with the long term, long term is 4 years data. With the 4 years data, you can see all the data toward east. So if you are familiar with Taiwan, Taiwan is under an earthquake or a plate intruding area. So all the data should go to west or west, northwest, but the data shows east. It means that with the reference station, all the stations are sliding to downslope. So this one is another one we detect from ground surface. For the ground surface, we assume we mount the earthquake station at ground surface, and assuming the other underground is elastic medium. So when the wave propagation from far end to the earthquake station, we can measure the shear wave velocity. So this one uses the shear wave velocity difference. The shear wave velocity difference, we can see the drop down of shear wave velocity difference. This one is the one is LT01. It's detected by himself. So we can see that when the earthquake or rainfall event happens, the DVOV, the data, the value will drop down a little bit. So the other one is the same thing. So we can see that this one is compared with LT01 is here, LT05 is here. 01 is outside the existing landslide. 0.5 is near the crest of the existing landslide. So we can see the difference, but the 0.1 can be more seen because it's a shallow landslide underneath. So if we have a dynamic illustration like this one, you can see that all the points become red when during the typhoon comes. When the typhoon comes, means one thing, the sliding happens. The other thing is groundwater level raising. So with the two mechanisms, we can see the difference of shear wave velocity difference. So there's a study say that the total failure of the shear wave velocity difference is 7%. The total is total failure. But this one we detected here is only 0.5%. It's far away from the total failure. So we are not expecting the total failure, but we are studying. So this one is the small conclusion from the earthquake station. From the earthquake station, we can see that the LT01 is from their potential areas, including LT01 to LT08. And also we can detect the sliding area, sliding trend is underneath about 100 meters. From there, that one is because we can detect the shear wave velocity difference. The velocity difference, the threshold for landing is 200 meters. So from the ground surface, we can detect the variance of shear wave velocity difference is 200 meters. So we see at least 200 meters is ideal, 200 meters for rainfall threshold. So there's another one we put on the ground is groundwater pressure. That for earthquake, for landslide, we need two acceleration. The first one is rainfall, the other one is earthquake. And for a rainfall event, we have a water pressure, but we don't know it's confined or unconfined water pressure. So we put the optical fiber water pressure to one hose. But there's a tragedy in 2017, the grass cutting, they cut the wires. So we don't have a temperature reading. We calibrate all the reading by temperature. So we can see that there is a difference there. But we, fortunately, is underneath the groundwater. So it's, we can assume the temperature is quite stable. So we assume the groundwater. So we can see that this one is not calibrated with temperature. But it still can detect the landslide, earthquake event in last year. And last year is a Hualien earthquake. And this too is calibrated with temperature, so we can make very nice data now. So the top one is 40 meters. The one is not like the bottom one too. So the first one there is ticking. The ticking means that it's unsaturated. For the bottom one is 50 meters, 60 meters, they already saturated. So the pressure reflection from earthquake is very quickly. Also we can see that with this one earthquake, the right-hand side earthquake is bigger than the right-hand side. We can see the increasing of the groundwater pressure. So we can measure that. Groundwater pressure is much more important with the free surface groundwater. You know that where the water comes out when the landslide happens. So we also use the electric resistance window in field. So sorry with my poor Photoshop. This is just assuming it's a window. It's 100 meters by 100 meters by 100 meters. It's the door shape. It's in the field. Usually we use the electric resistance once, and then take it away home. But this one is embedded inside, so we can measure it every hour. Every hour, it's just every hour we can set the voltage to the poles, so we can measure every hour. But there's it's a pity. In this May, we put the voltage every hour, and suddenly the lightning comes. So we lose one data logger. So now we just use 2 hours. So every 2 hours we can have an image of the electricity. Okay. So this one we have a good quality data. Like this one is Typhoon Maggie. In the 2016 we can see that there's water in the upside. So the blue side means the low electricity, which means water. And the bottom you see that it's another water. The white introducing this result. As I mentioned, there's engineering work due by Forest Bureau. It's a 40-meter retaining piles. It will block some water. So when you block water, the water separates to two parts, the upper part and the lower part. When the rainfall is big enough, so suddenly the two parts, water is combined together. And when the rainfall is decreasing, the groundwater goes away, and it goes back to original condition. So we can use this one as a warning, as if the water comes together and the low resistance become more area, so we can put an announce. This is another way we do this we use this one. We also measure the electric field. Each pole of our electricity, we have electric field. If you go back to see it, it's like in positive. The horizontal side is precipitation, rainfall. When rainfall reach 100 millimeter, the electric field is positive. When it over 100 meter, it becomes negative. So we can conclude that for this system, 100 meter will reduce the groundwater change. So it will change to a totally failure. So it's a pre-warning if the groundwater change. So we want to discuss all the things together. So different time scale. We will use the groundwater table. We will rainfall. We will use this one. Black line is impressed calorimeter, and also GPS data, and also the earthquake station. We do it to compare everything. The yellow line is every rainfall event, and the purple line is the earthquake event. So we can see that different kind of instrument can detect different event. Not only everything, because you see the red, this one, the purple line one, the center one. Every instrument also always detect this one. But for some kind, if IPI is one IPI detected, the other cannot detect. And also this one, you can see this. Another case, they detect and the other cannot detect. So the instrumentation is the resolution is come to 1 meter or 2 millimeter. You need traditional geotechnical sensors. If you need a bigger or cheap or cost-efficient way, you can use GPS or use earthquake station. Also, this is another one case with 2 or 3 events. And this is this year is earthquake in Hualien. It's not so big, but it comes Hualien, so the shake effect is very tremendous in this area. So we can see that with the GPS data, we measure 4 or 5 millimeter move of the landslide. And this is also a deformation of the used with the Sentinel-1. Because I have to confess that this one, the coherence is down to 0.05. It's quite low, so we can measure something from here. So we can see every time, every 12 days, a typhoon Maggie earthquake event. You can see our existing area, the landslide, is the deformation comes, and also we can see the extensometer, underground extensometer. Also, the mass tilt acceleration change, and the SA deformation in this area happen. So we need to conclude everything to pre-warning system. So we do need to do some simulation. This is a 2D numerical simulation. We based on the ratio test, we get the cohesion and the friction angle. We consider the retaining pile, and we do this simulation. This is a lower groundwater table is the maximum shear strength, and with the high groundwater table, we can simulate this totally failure. With this one, you can see that we have a small area landslide is outside the retaining wall. If we have a high groundwater level, the landslide will change to a totally failure like this one. And the sliding depth is about 100 meters. The Yunnan earthquake station detect that the landslide sliding plane 90 to 110. So it's about 100 meters the sliding plane. So we can see that with deformation, with low groundwater level, and with high groundwater level, we have a bigger deformation. And also we use the 3D numerical analysis. This one is not only for the limit equilibrium analysis, also for the deformation analysis. The most important part is find the sliding depth of 3D. For with the 3D sliding depth, we put it to 3D runout simulation. We know the sliding depth. We can put every particle to sliding down, so we can conclude the effective area of this large-scale landslide. So we also put everything to 3D specific way, so we can very nice to introduce to local people. Also, if we have community, we can see everything about this landslide will happen. And for this time, we need the preliminary landslide warning threshold. But unfortunately, in the past 4 years, our monitoring, you can reach the right-hand side. The red dot means the precipitation, the rainfall, larger than 500 millimeters. The yellow dot is 200 millimeters. Compared compared with the other side, it's quite slow in the past 4 years. For if we have 10 years, compared with the Lucerne experience, in the past 10 years, we have 4 events larger than 1,000 millimeter. With the rainfall larger than 1,000 millimeter, we can have a lot of strategy for the landslide warning system. So here we just give some preliminary result. The first one is deformation. The deformation for engineering works, we set up 2 millimeter per day or 2 millimeter per month. If we set up this one, so it's on the surface and also underground. So for surface and underground, we will inducing 2 different kinds of rainfall. So we go to the precipitation. For ground surface deformation, it comes to 300 millimeter. The ground surface means that for the resident, the people, they cross the road, they see the cracks. Okay, the next one is 800 to 1,000 millimeter for underground deformation. The large-scale landslide needs larger rainfall to trigger. So in order to trigger 100 meter sliding plan, we need more precipitation. For the Lucerne experience, we now set up to 800 to 1,000. The other one is GPS data. We already have 4 years GPS data. From the GPS data, we can separate 2 groups. And for the rainfall larger than 500 millimeter, we see the GPS move. So we set up GPS threshold as 500 millimeter. And also the groundwater table. We measured the groundwater table about 2 years, but it's still at 22 or to 20. We have with the rainfall, we monitor rainfall to 500. The groundwater table still cannot go too high. The problem may be because the fracture part or underneath, when we dig a hole, there's a fracture zones. So we need to put the water into the hole. The water will flush away very quickly. So groundwater table is probably we are waiting the groundwater raise in another event. So this is my last slide. This is all my co-PI's pictures, and especially we have a couple co-PI's here. So if you have questions, you can ask them because I just present here. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Wang.